On the morning of April 20th, 1999, students walked into Columbine High School like it was any other Tuesday. They joked in the halls, rushed to class, made plans for after school. No one could have imagined that the day would become one of the most tragic moments in American history. At 11:19 a.m., two students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, arrived on campus wearing long coats and carrying concealed weapons. But what happened next wasn't random. It had been planned for over a year. They had even given the plan a name: Judgment Day. Earlier that morning, they had planted two makeshift explosives in the school cafeteria, intended to detonate during lunch. If they had worked, it would have caused a massive catastrophe. But they didn't. And that failure changed everything. So instead, the two teens resorted to their backup plan. What followed was an act of violence that lasted just under an hour, but left the school, the town, and the country forever changed. 12 students and one teacher lost their lives. More than 20 others were injured. Eric and Dylan also died that day, by their own hands, in the school's library. But this wasn't just a moment of chaos. It was the result of months of planning, disturbing ideologies, and unchecked warning signs. Who were they? Eric Harris was seen as intelligent, charismatic, and deeply controlling. His personal writings revealed dark thoughts, resentment, and a need for power. Some experts later suggested that he showed signs consistent with certain psychological disorders. Dylan Klebold, on the other hand, was described as quiet and deeply conflicted. His journals revealed internal struggles, emotional pain, and feelings of isolation. While Eric appeared to focus outward, blaming society, Dylan seemed to focus inward, expressing a desire to escape the world entirely. The truth is, they weren't social outcasts in the traditional sense. They had friends. They went to prom. They had plans. But behind the surface, something was unraveling. And together, they created a dangerous feedback loop, encouraging each other, justifying their growing obsession with destruction. Many believe Eric was the mastermind, and Dylan the follower. Others argue that both played equal parts. What's clear is that they fed off one another, spiraling into something neither could have become alone. Their attack wasn't spontaneous. It was designed to be a spectacle, something that would be remembered. In their home videos, now referred to as the basement tapes, they described their motives and foreshadowed their plans. These tapes were never fully released to the public, but investigators who reviewed them described them as chilling and detached. After the incident, the nation searched for answers. Were they bullied? Was it video games, music, mental health, guns? Every theory made headlines. But most of them were either incomplete or incorrect. What happened at Columbine wasn't the result of one thing. It was the result of many things converging all at once. And it forced America to take a hard look at itself. Security in schools changed. Anti-bullying efforts were expanded. Conversations about teen mental health became louder. Parents, teachers, and students began to watch for warning signs more closely. But something else happened too, something darker. Future attackers would later reference Columbine. They studied the two boys like figures in a playbook. Some even visited the site of the school. And that's why it's so important that when we talk about stories like this, we don't focus on the perpetrators. We focus on the lives lost, the people left behind, and the lessons we still need to learn. Because behind the numbers were real people with real futures. Lauren Townsend was a gifted student and volleyball team captain. Isaiah Schulz loved music and dreamed of a creative career. Cassie Bernal, Rachel Scott, Daniel Mauser. Each one had a unique story, a family who loved them, and plans for the future. Coach Dave Sanders, the teacher, helped save countless students by directing them to safety. He stayed behind to protect others and lost his life in the process. His bravery is remembered to this day. Their names should be known more than the ones who caused the pain. Even now, decades later, Columbine remains a symbol, not of fear, but of the urgent need for awareness, prevention, and compassion. Survivors still live with the emotional impact. Some have become advocates. Others have chosen to stay silent. But for every one of them, life changed that day in ways that words can never fully express. So where do we go from here? We continue to learn. We support mental health in schools. We recognize red flags. We listen when someone says they're struggling. And most importantly, we remember that every student, every teacher, every person deserves to feel safe in their community. If this story made you pause, if it made you reflect, let us know in the comments. What do you think we've learned? And what still needs to change? Tap the like button if you believe these stories need to be told with care and honesty. And subscribe to Digital Detectives, where we uncover the crimes that still echo through history. Not to sensationalize, but to understand. Because sometimes, understanding is the first step toward preventing the next tragedy. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and take care of each other.